So let me draw something for you to make it a little bit clearer. This is like your core desire. If you achieve this thing, or if you live out this core desire, you should be like 100% present. So all these extra layers are there, right? Maybe the way, like the path for men, is that you are supposed to have, like, let's say 50 outer layers around it. Like, let's say if we were all born in a vacuum, right, we'd probably have a fair amount of these layers still, because I don't think you'll be born and get to realize your core desire, because you kind of need to learn and develop. You need to, like, you know, find your way through life. You need some skills to be able to get there. So if, for example, your absolute core desire would have been something to, like, meditate full time and realize God, or it would have been to, like, become the best preacher of a religion or whatever, like, let's say something like religion, right? Well, before you can really do that, you kind of need to, like, go through the layers of understanding of, for example, reading the book on persuasive speaking, on, you know, taking the class on how to speak and how to read the language that the original book is on, right? Because it seems to me that some people's core desire is actually to, for example, study the Quran. People go to university and literally, like, read the Quran like 500 times to be able to study it and be, like, the best preachers of it, to be imams, right? That might be their core desire. But to be able to do that, it's not like you're just simply born. These layers are actually important if they're authentic, because this one, for example, could be to learn, like, the sort of the language. This one here could be to learn to read. This one here could be to, like, you know, become a persuasive speaker. So you'd actually need these to get to the core desire. So this isn't to say that you should just have the core desire and do nothing else in life. This is to say that we're still supposed to have purposes, like layers around it, so that we can complete the inner core. But the problem comes from when society puts a bunch of bullshit on. From when you watch my videos or Andrew Tate videos or E-Man videos, and suddenly you're thinking that investing in watches seems like a really good idea, and maybe I'll move to Dubai to get 0% taxes, right? Because now it's like, well, there's just too much. There's too many desires, too many desires, too many desires. So what we need to do is peel back that there and start to think, okay, I don't believe we should be arrogant enough to think that we know this core desire. I think that's very arrogant, especially at this age. I spoke to one guy, he didn't mean to be arrogant, but, like, he said, oh yeah, I know my core desire. It's, like, to make this, like, kind of like this Discord community. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it might be like a purpose there. It's kind of interesting. I'm not sure if, like, that's what your soul was, like, born here to do on Earth, was to grow this Discord server. And he understood once I told him. So maybe this is the core thing. Maybe we need to just be super authentic, vigilant, and, you know, limit our inputs so that we can assume, like, what the real sort of currency, this line here, that will be something authentic to us. Because right now, when you're living the normal life, you go into school and everything, these layers here will be just brought in by someone else. But let's say you start spending some time, like a lot of time, right? Hours every day reading, hours every day journaling, thought-provoking, going on trips where your eyes can see, like, broad horizons. So you go to, like, mountains and everything, and you get to, like, your eyes visually see broad landscapes. That usually helps your thinking. And you start to realize, like, the thing that you're really fascinated for, which might be the case, is actually self-improvement. Specifically, for example, like, your mental health, because right now your mental health isn't so good. You're not very productive. You really hate your life. So that might actually be, like, the real desire for you. Let's say if all the bullshit was stripped back, this might be the real desire for you to achieve. This is the thing that you genuinely, no matter if anyone said this to you, no matter if, you know, if you woke up in a box every single day, you would be thinking this. So if that's the case, if this is the real desire, which it probably is for a lot of us here, it might not be for all of us, then that is something that you should absolutely discipline yourself for. Everything from your diet to your career should be aligned to your purpose if you want to live with integrity. So if you want to live, like, the seemingly good life for a man, it's all about getting as close to aligning 100% of the things that you do, you think, everything like that, to what the current layer is. Shedding layers of your purpose. Kind of like how a snake sheds its skin every, like, few weeks or few months. We need to shed layers of our purpose as we go along. And let's say, for example, in this layer that we're currently on, this layer, your friend Jeffrey fits in, because this current layer is about, like, you know, it's bullshit. Let's say this purpose layer has been put onto us by video games. But when you start to shed that layer, when you fulfill that desire and you realize that, you know, this layer is all about, let's say, video games, right? And you've got Jeffrey friends because of that, because you've aligned your life to it, right? So you've aligned, whether you knew about masculinity or not, you already like knew to align your life with the current core, like the sort of purpose layer, right? But then when you discover self-improvement, you usually ditch this layer, don't you? You usually need to shed it because you can't be on the layer of stuck being a video game addict.